It's time to settle the score. The pioneers of modern cubing hardware are going head to head to determine who's really the best. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. How's it going, everyone? As you can see, today we're going to be comparing Moyu and Qiyi, two cubing manufacturers that had a huge impact on speed cubing. You can't really compare these two cube manufacturers to any others like GAN or even YJ, just because these are only the only two cubing companies that are really complete enough to be compared fairly. A quick disclaimer, a lot of the video will be opinion based, and believe it or not, opinions are actually allowed on the internet. Wow. Moyu and Qiyi have the biggest selection of cubes out of any cube manufacturer, but how do those selections compare to each other? When looking at the standard 2x2 through 5x5, Moyu and Qiyi are fairly similar in terms of selection. There might be a few instances where Moyu had more than Qiyi of one of them, or Qiyi had more than Moyu, one of them, but for the most part, they're basically the same. When you look at the side events, that's when you really start to see a difference. No offense to Moyu's side events, but they're nowhere close in terms of selection to X-Man Designs, which is Qiyi's side event sub-brand. Moyu doesn't have a clock or a magnetic square one. They only have one magnetic Pyraminx compared to 3 from Qiyi. Sure, they have more scubes, but 1, it's scube, and 2, they didn't name their scube Wingy. Where's my refund? So yeah, for the side events alone, I'm giving this one to Qiyi. Both Qiyi and Moyu have some pretty fair prices overall. However, I can't deny the differences between their prices. Qiyi's most expensive cubes seem to be more expensive than Moyu's most expensive cubes. But in my opinion, Qiyi also has a more balanced variety of cubes at different price points. Still, there's a lot of non-3x3 events where Moyu has a much better price. And also, Moyu's price seems to be trending down. I mean, the WRM 2020 and the RS3M 2020 were both $5 cheaper than the WRM 2019 and the original RS3M. So, for the more general overall cheaper prices, I'm going to give this one to Moyu. Both Moyu and Qiyi have made some interesting decisions and have marketed their cubes differently. Moyu's marketing the past few years have basically revolved around Du's world record single. This has allowed for some cool cube names, but it's also been slightly misleading, leading people to think this was the world record cube when it really wasn't. Qiyi's marketing was a little bit more honest, but they still can't resist slapping a picture of Mats Valk on their cube boxes. Interestingly, Qiyi likes to market that their cubes are strong and reliable, with phrases like, "the strong will always be strong." Moyu does most of their experimental type of things through the Guoguan sub-brand. You know, Guoguan cubes aren't that great usually, but they have some really cool innovations like magnet adjustment and even changing the size of a 2x2. So, while they usually aren't everyone's mains, they have a lot of good ideas. So while I think Moyu has some cool ideas and good innovations, in my opinion, their somewhat misleading marketing kind of just drags them down a little bit. This section is mostly based on personal preference. And I gotta be honest, I prefer Qiyi cubes. But Moyu cubes usually need less setting up. More people tend to like the feeling of Moyu cubes. There are more cubes from Qiyi that are considered disappointing. And I made a bunch of YJ cubes anyways. So yep, it's a tie. And honestly, did you expect anything different? These two companies have had a huge impact on cubing, and putting one objectively below the other just wouldn't be right. In the end, it's up to personal preference. Now that I've finished comparing Moyu and Qiyi, I've decided to devote my life to figuring out the explanation behind X-Man Designs' cube names. Now my first theory that they're all based on things in the world around us. Well, that makes sense until Hey, it's Weatherman Meteorologist here, giving you a special report that tonight there's going to be a rare natural phenomenon known as an X-Man bell. That